A family reunited. Xander and Sarah's journey back to each other. In Salem, where secrets simmer and emotions run high, a heartfelt story of redemption and forgiveness is about to unfold. After so much turmoil, heartbreak, and layers of misunderstanding, Xander Kyriakis and Sarah are finally approaching an unexpected turning point: reconciliation. Next week, viewers will witness a surprising shift as a long-lost love begins to reignite, and a once-broken family gets a second chance at healing. Xander, the troubled soul with a chaotic past, will prove that his heart has always belonged to Sarah and their young daughter. Meanwhile, Sarah, torn between pain and longing, faces a difficult choice. Will she open her heart to love once more? A moment of reckoning. The catalyst for this transformation comes in the aftermath of a heated confrontation that could have sealed Xander's fate. In a fit of rage, Xander attacked his brother, Philip Kyriakis. The altercation left Xander sprawled on the ground, his pride as bruised as his body. For a man known for his defiance, this moment was a stark wake-up call. Philip, however, made a surprising choice. Rather than testify against Xander and send him spiraling further into ruin, he extended an olive branch, albeit one tinged with self-interest. Philip's decision wasn't born of pure altruism. As a man guarding his own secrets, he feared exposure as a fraud. A deal was struck, silence for silence. But what began as a pragmatic arrangement soon took an unexpected turn. When Xander, his voice heavy with remorse, apologized for letting his anger consume him, even Philip was taken aback by the sincerity in his brother's eyes. It was a fleeting moment, but one that carried the weight of possibility, a glimmer of hope that the man who had long been ruled by his demons might finally be ready to change. The road to redemption. For those who have watched Xander's story unfold, this apology marks a pivotal shift. The bad boy of Salem has always been a complex figure, his heart torn between the pull of his darker impulses and the faint whisper of the man he could become. His past is littered with betrayals, schemes, and moments of cruelty, yet beneath it all lies a deep yearning for love and acceptance. That yearning has been most evident in his relationship with Sarah, the woman who saw the good in him even when he couldn't see it himself. Sarah Horton Kyriakis is no stranger to hardship. Her life has been a tapestry of loss and resilience, yet her love for Xander has endured through storms that would have broken lesser bonds. Their marriage, once a beacon of hope, crumbled under the weight of Xander's mistakes and Sarah's inability to reconcile with his flaws. The birth of their daughter, Victoria Kyriakis, played with innocent charm by Islay and Paisley Kerr, only deepened the stakes. Xander's desire for joint custody pushed them into a bitter legal battle, with court dates looming like storm clouds on the horizon. But next week, everything changes. The walls that have kept Xander and Sarah apart begin to crumble, and the catalyst is as unexpected as it is heartwarming. Little Victoria, with her bright eyes and boundless love, becomes the bridge that draws her parents back together. A chance encounter, perhaps a moment where Victoria's laughter softens the tension between them, plants the seed for reconciliation. It's a reminder of what they stand to lose and, more importantly, what they could gain by choosing forgiveness over pride. A brotherly bond restored. Xander's apology to Philip is more than a personal victory. It's the first step toward mending the fractured Kyriakis family. For years, the brothers have been at odds, their rivalry fueled by jealousy and mistrust. Philip, ever the polished schemer, has often viewed Xander as a loose cannon, while Xander saw Philip as a privileged rival. Yet in that moment of vulnerability, when Xander laid bare his regrets, something shifted. Philip, perhaps recognizing his own flaws in his brother's struggle, chose to listen rather than judge. This newfound understanding paves the way for a tentative truce. It's not a full reconciliation yet, but it's a start. For Xander, restoring his relationship with Philip is a crucial piece of his redemption. The Kyriakis name carries weight in Salem, but it's the bonds of family that give it meaning. As Xander begins to rebuild trust with his brother, he finds the strength to confront the larger question: can he become the man Sarah and Victoria deserve? A marriage on the mend. The heart of this story lies in Xander and Sarah's reunion, a moment that Days of Our Lives fans have been awaiting with bated breath. Their love has always been a force of nature, passionate, tumultuous, and unshakable. But love alone isn't enough to heal the wounds of the past. Xander's transformation requires more than words. It demands action, consistency, and a willingness to confront the parts of himself he's long ignored. Next week, that transformation takes center stage. The details of their reconciliation are still unfolding, but spoilers hint at a scene charged with emotion. Perhaps it's a quiet moment in the park, where Sarah watches Xander play with Victoria, his laughter mingling with their daughters. Or maybe it's a late-night conversation, where Xander lays bare his fears and hopes, his voice trembling with the weight of his love for her. Whatever the setting, the outcome is clear. Sarah sees the man she fell in love with, not the shadow he became. For Sarah, the decision to forgive isn't easy. She's a woman of strength, but also of caution, her heart scarred by Xander's past betrayals. Yet she's also a mother, and Victoria's happiness is her guiding star. The thought of giving their daughter a familiar real family, united by love rather than obligation, is a powerful motivator. As Xander proves himself, not through grand gestures but through the quiet reliability of a changed man, Sarah's defenses begin to soften. A new chapter for Salem. The reconciliation of Xander and Sarah is more than a personal triumph. It's a testament to the enduring power of love and redemption. In Salem, where drama is a way of life, their story offers a beacon of hope. It reminds us that even the most broken hearts can mend, and that the path to forgiveness is paved with courage and grace. As the Kyriakis family comes together, the ripples of their reunion will be felt throughout Salem. Philip, emboldened by his truce with Xander, may find himself confronting his own demons. Victoria, the innocent heart of this story, will grow up surrounded by the love of her parents, a legacy far greater than any fortune. And for Xander and Sarah, this is only the beginning. Their love, forged in the fires of hardship, will face new challenges, but they will face them together. A promise kept. For fans of Days of Our Lives, next week's episodes promise to deliver the drama, heartache, and joy that have made the show a beloved institution. Xander's journey from bad boy to redeemed hero is a story that resonates across generations, speaking to anyone who has ever hoped for a second chance. Sarah's courage in opening her heart again is a reminder that love is worth fighting for, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Next, a hope deferred. Chanel's dream of motherhood put on hold. It begins in the quiet sterility of a medical clinic, where Dr. Sarah Horton Lindsay Godfrey sits down with Chanel Dupree de Mera Raven Bowens. Sarah's words are clinical but careful, her voice steady, but filled with empathy. After all, Sarah knows that what she's about to say could change the course of Chanel's life. Sarah informs Chanel that her health is currently stably in enormous relief considering her past brush with cancer. But the conversation doesn't end there. Chanel has been thinking about starting a family with her husband Johnny DeMera Carson Boatman, a joyful, hopeful goal. Unfortunately, Sarah explains that pregnancy at this stage could complicate her prognosis. It would make it more difficult for doctors to detect any early signs of a cancer recurrence, should that happen. Waiting, Sarah explains gently, is the best option. It offers Chanel not just a healthier pregnancy later on, but a better chance at life, a future free from the looming threat of disease. Chanel listens, trying to hold it together, but behind her composed expression is a swirl of disappointment, frustration, and fear. She has been through so much already, and the idea of putting her dreams on hold is almost too much to bear. Paulina's steady wisdom. When Chanel later confides in her mother, Paulina Price Jackie Harry, the emotion finally spills out. Chanel doesn't just talk about her health, talks about Johnny, and her uncertainty about where he truly stands. She wonders if he's ready to be a father, or if he's still working through his own pain. Still, Chanel expresses cautious gratitude. She's pleased that Johnny is finally making moves to cut EJ out of their lives, believing it to be a step in the right direction. Paulina listens quietly. She doesn't rush in with advice or platitudes. Her role as a mother and now a grandmother in waiting isn't to fix things, but to be there, to hold space for Chanel's confusion, sorrow, and flickers of hope. Xander's redemption. A different kind of fight. Meanwhile, Xander cook Paul Telfer continues to try to piece his life back together after being exonerated in the brutal attack on Philip Kyriakis Jean-Paul Lavoisier. Though cleared legally, Xander knows the battle for his reputation and his family's trust is far from over. At the hospital, he crosses paths with Paulina. Their conversation quickly turns to the controversial hospital board vote, which would approve the sale of the hospital, a decision that Xander strongly opposes. Now that he's been cleared, Xander sees this as his moment to step up and make a difference. He wants to protest the vote and needs Mayor Abe Carver's support to do so. Paulina, never one to mince words, cuts through the political talk. She reminds Xander of what truly matters. Your wife and your daughter are what's important, she says pointedly. Don't forget that. Her words strike home. Though Xander sees himself as fighting for something noble, Paulina's reminder echoes louder. A hospital can be rebuilt, but relationships once lost are harder to mend. He must remember that while he wages this new battle, The people closest to him are still waiting to know where his heart truly lies. Philip's denials and Sarah's doubts. Elsewhere in the hospital, Sarah checks in on Philip, who is still recovering from the attack. Her tone is cautious, her mind clearly unsettled. She asks a simple but loaded question. Did he tell Xander that she knew about the fake letter? Philip quickly denies it, insisting he would never do that. But Sarah isn't so sure. The lingering tension between the two hints that there are still secrets, unspoken shadows of past betrayals that haven't fully faded. A husband in conflict, Johnny's battle with himself. Later that evening, Chanel returns home and is surprised to find Johnny still there. He explains that Dan Furigal had paid him a visit and the meeting has left him rattled. Chanel cautiously tries to see the positive, suggesting that EJ's release from prison might be a good thing, a fresh start. But Johnny isn't convinced. His eyes carry the weight of grief and confusion. I don't know if I can handle losing someone else in my life, he admits softly. His voice breaks as he continues. I don't like who I become when I'm angry. I don't like how I shut people out. But I also don't know if I'm ready to let him, my father, back in. Chanel listens, her heart aching. She sees Johnny's pain, his fear, his vulnerability. He's not just dealing with the external battle of cutting ties with a toxic parent, facing an internal war of forgiveness, identity, and loss. And in that moment, Chanel's own heartbreak grows not from rejection, but from watching the man she loves try to hold himself together, piece by fragile piece. The larger message, healing takes time. This chapter of Days of Our Lives isn't about dramatic reveals or violent twists, it's about something quieter, but just as profound. Healing. For Chanel, it's about accepting that life's timeline doesn't always align with our hopes. For Xander, it's about realizing that redemption isn't won through grand gestures, but through showing up every day for the people we love. For Johnny, it's about facing the messy truth of family wounds and having the courage to choose love over bitterness, even when it hurts. For longtime fans, especially older viewers who followed these characters through decades of ups and downs, this storyline is especially poignant. It reflects real-life struggles, health scares, family divides, the aching desire for children, and the quiet, powerful work of forgiveness,